Hello, I know I haven't made a video in a little while, mostly because I don't feel like I'm necessarily qualified to comment on the massacre at Virginia Tech or the possibility of us going to war with Iran. But I did see Rage Against the Machine reunite at Coachella. I was in the very front, getting crushed by 100,000 people, and Zach De La Rocha said that we need to execute government officials, that they don't even deserve a trial, that they've, killed innocent people, and that they deserve that same kind of treatment. Um, and I went to the concert because I was hoping for them to be radical and say something effective to pump up the people and start a revolution. But I don't know that I necessarily agree with assassination. In fact, I don't agree with assassination. I don't think that making these, fascist neoconservatives martyrs is the correct answer to solve all of the world's problems, or even to solve the problem of violence in the world. Sure, they are huge proponents for the problem of violence that we have in the world, but I don't think that getting rid of them does anything to help. There's, a million guys lined up right behind them, anxious to take their place. And if anybody was going to take those guys out, it is the people that would benefit the most from it. But anyhow, the reason why I'm making this video is not to talk about Rage reuniting at Coachella, although I am really sore from 100,000 people crushing me. What I am talking to you guys about today is the interview Jon Stewart gave with Bill Moyers over at PBS, which there's going to be a link to on this video. You can click on it, watch the whole thing, read the transcript. It really helps to have a Mac because you can zoom on your Mac and be able to read the transcript and have the video a fairly decent size, so you can watch it from far away, kind of rest and relax your mind while you take in all the information. But I'm going to read to you a little bit of the transcript, not very long, just bear with me. Bill Moyers was asking about Jon Stewart's interview with Ali Alawi, government representative from Iraq, about he's contrasting the tragedy that happened in Virginia Tech with the tragedy that happened that very same day in Iraq, them losing 150 people, citizens. And for us, it was a very big deal. It was like the largest shooting on any campus in history of the United States. And for Iraq, it's like, 150 people dead, kind of just like another story in the news. And so Jon Stewart says that he happened to catch sort of a headline lower down, because he was following the Virginia Tech stories on the internet, that there were 200 people killed in 4 bomb attacks in Iraq, and I think that my focus was on what was happening here versus sort of the peripheral vision thing that caught my eye about, oh right, there are lives. And I think it was a moment of, I felt guilty. Moyer says, guilty? And Jon Stewart says, for not having the empathy for their suffering on a daily basis that I feel sometimes that I should. And I just want to use repetition for emphasis. Jon Stewart said, for not having the empathy for their suffering on a daily basis that I feel sometimes that I should. For not having the empathy for their suffering on a daily basis that I feel sometimes that I should. For not having the empathy for their suffering on a daily basis that I feel sometimes that I should. And that's the solution to peace, I think. Deepak Chopra wrote an amazing book about there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. And I listened to that book audio on my iPod, and I feel like it's a really strong piece for peace. We need to be able to sympathize and empathize with those that are suffering in the world in order for us to alleviate the tension and the kind of confusion that we feel in our own lives. I am in the lower bracket of the middle class in the United States of America. And I feel as if I have a responsibility to spend my money wisely so that I am not contributing to the downfall of civilization and the destruction that bothers me so much in the world today. I feel as if it's a situation where we are all connected. I truly do believe that we are all connected to the collective unconsciousness. And there is suffering going on. And with 10% of the world's wealthiest owning 80% of the world's wealth, it it goes to show you why people that aren't in that top 10% bracket feel a lot of empathy towards those that are suffering and want to do what we can to help. And I don't know if the system was created that way so that there's a very very select few number of people that are extravagantly wealthy and can afford anything they want. Nothing price literally money is not an object to them. Um, so that it creates like an environment where people can be charitable and helpful to each other because we feel this sort of sympathy, but simultaneously, it's like there is a real disconnect between um, or among people from the middle class to the lower class, and we have to spread if we wish for peace to happen in our lifetime. If we wish for ourselves to be calm, this is the point, that we don't feel comfortable, we don't feel calm with war going on in the world because we are an anxious people, because we're connected to those people that are dying and are suffering and are having their limbs extracted from their bodies on a daily basis. They are us. And it's 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 hard. It's hard for us to know because I'm racist. And I'm not going to say that we're all racist, but these tendencies in our society that I believe organized religion has really put upon us, these filters that disable us from seeing ourselves as equals with each other. Like, I look down upon people in lower classes than me. And there's nothing right about that. That is evil. And I'm not a person that likes to label things as evil or good or pure. I think that kind of Western mentality is horrible because it happens so frequently that we mentally train ourselves, and we're mentally like conditioned to process things as being either evil or good, and shades of gray are just kind of like waiting there to be sorted by our minds. There are things, because we do have to subscribe to some ethical code, that are needed to be sorted as evil, and I feel like it's a really personal thing. I don't feel like judging others is the right method. We need to be super critical of ourselves in order to achieve and affect change in our lifetime. And I'm sorry, but I just feel like we need to take the steps to spread awareness about the issues, that we can't contain our knowledge of injustice and inequality and just keep on pretending that that's a correct method of action and behavior. We are strong. We are very strong minded and willed, and we can overcome. I believe strongly in reincarnation, people, and I believe that I have been around forever, and you all have been around since the beginning with me forever, and we maintain this connection. The illusion is that we are disconnected from each other, and it's so strong, and the news just emphasizes that and makes it such a strong, they make such a strong case for why we should hate each other. And I'm looking at the television, and I'm looking at the internet, and there's evidence for why I should hate people. Strongly supported evidence why fighting fire with fire and violence with violence is a positive thing. But people, I truly believe that fighting for peace is like fucking for virginity, and we need to come together in unity. And just, it's kind of easy for me to play, dugout pitcher and say that without really affecting great change directly. But I think it's all direct. I think everything that happens has an effect on the universe, and we need to come together and spread awareness. And your opinion is just as valid as any other opinion shared on this planet, in any continent. So share it and be open. It's exponentially more important to be a learner than to be a student than to be a teacher, because the more arrogant we are with our information, the more absolutist we become in our nature, the more conflict will be prevalent on this planet. And so soak in the information, absorb it like a sponge, and only when you feel confident in spreading information, spread it. I said that I wasn't qualified to speak on the Virginia Tech thing, and I'm not. I speak on the Iran thing. I'm not qualified to speak on those issues because I don't want people to suffer for my ignorance and my misjudgment. We need to be sensitive. It's okay to laugh, and it's okay to think of aspects of the world and our society as ridiculous. It's okay to be yourself and revel and enjoy love and loving episodes of South Park and Family Guy where there's this social commentary that I feel too. I feel like, there's no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and it's not a coincidence that for the last 10 years some of the biggest box office hits have been movies where you pair like the black guy with the white guy, or the Asian guy with the white guy, or like these different pairs of racial tensions with each other, and then it's like, oh, it's okay to laugh at this situation. It's okay, but at the situation, at the lack of compassion that we have for each other, I think that it's important to recognize that. I feel like it's more important for us to be able to laugh and enjoy each other's company on a purely non-judgmental level. And so I'm trying really hard not to be judgmental, but nobody is perfect. I don't even aspire towards perfection. I just aspire towards living in a world that I feel I belong to and can cherish and be proud of. And I feel optimistic. But in the face of all that's going on, sometimes it's difficult. I have to end this video now because my laptop's running out of battery. But I love you. I'll be making more videos as the times come, and I just want to say peace and love each other, and peace is the way. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way.